What's up, guys? Thrush here. I want to spend a few minutes and just talk to you about what I think is wrong with Arena Mode. And by wrong, I don't mean that the concept is bad, I just think it's poorly executed. Now, the nice thing that we get in this Black Ops versus previous Black Ops, and I'm going to completely discredit Advanced Warfare and Ghosts, mainly because I have little to no experience playing those games, because frankly, I didn't enjoy those games whatsoever. So I'm just gonna say if you liked them, you liked them. If you're like me and you didn't, let's talk about the game at hand and Black Ops 2 because those are all that really matter, in my eyes at least. Um, so arena mode in this game. First problem I see is the timers are not long enough. It seems like the ban and protect timers are too long. In my honest opinion, you should know sort of right away or going into your match what things are going to happen. So I think you can bring those down. I believe they're 30 seconds right now. And I think they can be brought down to maybe 20 seconds. If that, maybe even 25 if you're worried about timing. Um, Secondly, just on this sort of opening phase before I actually get into some of the content of what you can ban and protect, uh, it really should be one team, then the other team, then back and forth and flips like that. So either one team gets first picked or so on and so forth. Maybe the other team gets the map or the mode is something fair to balance it out. I'm not 100% sure how that would work. Just trying to throw some ideas out there. Secondly, it has to do with what you're banning or protecting. The problem with using a system like this in COD is that no gun or no specialists, we'll get to those later. No gun is really a direct counter to each other because the problem is that you and I as players have too much input. It relies too heavily on what we are able to do as people. Where when you see in MOBAs, for example, like League of Legends or Smite, which is where I'm getting a lot of my background knowledge for this video from, um, you're limited to what your character can do because there is preset ranges in your character class that prevent you from shooting across the map with an M8, for example, when you choose to be an assassin or something along those lines. And Call of Duty, yes, has higher damage values and lower damage values, so they're trying. The only problem is there's no, like in Battlefield, I believe, because I think Battlefield had drop off. There's no range at which you can't get a hit marker, and that's really the problem. It comes down to a team composition is not that important in this game in comparison to MOBAs when you're picking this sort of stuff. It's just not how things happen. And right now, what this has sort of become, it's become either is your M8 game better than our M8 game, or do we want to play with the Vesper, or do we want to ban it? And that's sort of become the extent. It's meant to really just, at the moment, to fuck somebody up, excuse my language. Um, which I don't think is what was the initial intention. I think it was supposed to create a meta like there is in other games, other MOBA type games or League of Legends or any of those types of things. Um, Characters come and go as updates happen, new characters come in, old characters get buffed or debuffed or whatever you want to say, and it changes things up. And you have your supports, and you have your guys that rush, the high damage, those types of things. So I think if you're gonna do that type of system in this game, I think the guns need to be more extreme versions of themselves. I think within range, I think the submachine guns should almost always beat the assault rifles. The shotguns need to always beat the SMGs essentially for the most part at closer range, and the handguns need to be faster to pull out and easier to aim to make them competitive against the shotguns when in a tight situation. Snipers are the only ones I can see maybe having near cross map range, but again, you lose up close, and they should be losing up close to everything else. But if they want to make gun picking a thing, then the guns all need to be more extreme choices, and there really needs to be sort of a defined role in these many guys are going to carry SMGs, these many guys are going to carry assault rifles, so on and so forth, because if everyone can just flip back and forth willy-nilly, then I don't think the system is going to work that well, to be perfectly honest. I also don't like the idea. I like the idea of banning perks. Banning perks is great. That's a good thing. And I wish they would have put more perks in so there'd be more choices and more sort of creative choices to use. But I think banning attachments is going a little too far, quite honestly, because you end up with things like when people just ban quick draw. And what I sort of equate that to on, again, League of Legends or Smite, is equivalent to someone banning your movement boots that you would get from the shop in game as you level up. So that, like, it doesn't make sense, because all it's going to do is it forces everybody's playstyle to change, as opposed to making it, because everyone knows quick draw is good. So if quick draw wasn't banned, everyone would put it on, no problem. But that's never going to create this ecosystem where a team figures out strategies that, hey, we are better without quick draw, and we found stock is 10 stock and elo sites can replace quick draw, no problem. And there we go. They're the first team on it, and they're setting the change in the meta for the entire community. And I doubt that's ever really going to happen in Call of Duty if it stays like it is. But I mean, it is fun to be able to ban and pick. That is a cool idea. And then, really only the last thing I have to talk about is specialists in general. I honestly think that if they're going to do a specialist pick, which is the other part of picking and banning that I love, I think it makes total sense, is it needs to be one character model per, I was going to say per game, but then I realized there's not that many specialists, so it's going to be hard, either unless they come out with another like 5 or 6 more, it would make things really hard. But it really should be one character model per team. So for example, if I pick Prophet, who has Tempest or Glitch, I have either of those to choose from, but I can't have, my teammate can't say go then and pick Glitch, because I've already picked the Tempest, and the one character model for Tempest on our team is locked down. And I think things should balance out okay like that, especially because each specialist has a weapon and like a additional skill sort of thing. So I think that would balance itself out, and that would help create some competitive choices between people and between teams, and what combinations of specialists work best together, like using I don't know, using kinetic armor and Sparrow maybe. So you could essentially use armor, and you could take I don't know. That was just an idea, but mixing up the specialists enough to create these cool duos and trios of skills that work insanely well together. Maybe like Psychosis and Ripper being able to like split, and then Ripper just come in the confusion and rip everybody apart. Or even Psychosis and Active Camo to be like completely sort of stealthy and that sort of thing, could make for a good capture the flag type deal. But I don't think as it is now, where you can have like two Prophets, for example, and I'm sorry, I don't know the other names. Oh, I guess there's Reaper too. Okay, I do know Reaper. I do know more names. I don't think as they are now, they work, because not enough some importance put on their character model. Absolutely, that's why you can only have one of each type, and that's a great thing for balance and whatever. But I think the characters just generally need to be more important, and I think, just while I think about it here as I'm making this video, I think there should be a male and a female option for every character, except maybe Reaper, because that doesn't. I mean, you really want robot with boobs? That just feels a little desperate. So hopefully you guys like my ideas. I I like what David Vonderhaar and the Treyarch team are trying to do. I really do. I just think they haven't completely thought it through. Because literally all this is it's who can mess with the other team more, and it really needs to be what team composition can we go in building and run with to win. And that alone needs to become a larger strategy. And I think that's what's gonna keep the game fresh and exciting constantly. Because could you imagine going in from week to week, not knowing, find out halfway through the week you're playing as a pub player, and there was COD World Champs over the weekend, and you didn't watch it, but apparently the Scythe and the Sparrow teamed up with the Ripper guy. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name, and Prophet. And they just had this absolutely dominant game where he used glitch to bring the enemy team into the Scythe path, and then the active camo snuck by as that was happening and grabbed the flag or got in the hard point or whatever it may be. And they ran 2 SMGs and an AR and a sniper and went that way. I think that would keep the game fresh for everybody, and that would almost force people in a way to keep up with the game. Not so much even just playing the game, but watching the game. That would mean more views for all the pro players. That would mean more public traction for Treyarch and Activision. And I know everyone hates Activision. Whatever, it's Activision. I think that would be a good thing. I think that would keep Call of Duty as a whole fresh. And then hopefully would allow them to, when they start creating DLC, they can take that DLC and bring it right into competitive to once again sort of change up the competitive scene a little bit, make it less M8 and less Vesper, those sorts of things. I think it has potential. I just I'm not 100% sure how it would work yet. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Most of you have probably played more arena mode than I have. This is one of the handful of games I've played so far. I just find in the preliminary series so far, there's so many people that just quit and leave out before the game even starts. I'm not 100% sure why. I'm not sure if they just look at our stats and say, "Oh, screw this guy, I'm out of here," type thing. But it makes things very difficult. I think that Treyarch could easily bring back a couple of the Black Ops 2 competitive stuff. For example, solo ladders versus team ladders. I think that's a really cool idea. So we'll see what happens in the long run. I mean, I'm hoping things change. I'm hoping things get better. I think that people that leave should be banned for 5 minutes from all multiplayer play. I think if they want to hop and do campaign or do zombies, fine. You want to play online and do campaign and do zombies? No way. You're stuck by yourself for 5 minutes, whatever it may be. And that was your choice because you chose to leave. The other option could be akin to what I think Halo is doing now, or at least I know some of the MOBA guys are doing it, where when you leave, you either have to wait to join a new game, or they just put you right back into the game you left. So that could be an idea too, to really screw people over, because if they want to leave, they sort of get shafted into staying. And I think, honestly, at this point, it is a little necessary. I know it doesn't completely affect the professional guys, because most of those guys play in custom games anyways. But I think that could affect those of us who are trying to be a little bit more professional about things, but still mostly play pubs. So, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about my ideas. And then last but not least, let me know what your favorite specialist is. I ran kinetic armor here for this game for I think probably the first time ever, or like one of the first times, and I really liked it. I think it really has some utility in objective-based game modes, especially like cap the flag and hardpoint and uplink, because being able to throw on that extra little buff of armor right as you're leaving with the flag, or right as you're returning with the flag, or the ball, whatever it may be, or breaking through that hardpoint, should hopefully push you over the edge. So, that's all I got, guys. This is pretty much the end of the video. We got creamed this video even though they lost a guy. Our fourth was a bit of a dunce, unfortunately. He at one point in the game, I don't know if you noticed, grabbed the flag. We were about to get ours back, and then he decided, let me just run the flag all the way back. And that completely screwed us. So, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate the time. Have a good one.